Roy, episode 1.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, wow, what a start. Yeah. So, just so everyone at home knows and watching around the world, why are we doing this?
Well, we're doing this for awareness more than anything. Obviously, for people who are struggling with addictions, especially like alcohol, and that's why it's called the Sobriety Club. So we're doing it to make awareness, really. And at the minute, that's just gone crazy. I mean, we've had over 6 million views and interactions, everything in 8 months. And it just took off, and so many people have messaged me and you, obviously, and Sobriety Club, and we've got loads of ambassadors. It's just gone crazy, and more people are getting help. So the word's getting out, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and for everyone who maybe doesn't know, because you see Sobriety Club, you see Peace Over Chaos. Roy, what's the difference?
Well, Sobriety Club is literally just for people like myself and you who don't drink at all and dealing with addictions, and we've all got our own stories. Peace Over Chaos is actually for everybody. Because everybody, whether you drink, whatever you do in life, everybody wants peace over chaos. So the actual peace over chaos bit is for everyone. We all want peace, and we don't want no chaos. So the show is obviously about addictions, but it's about everything. Everything to do with life. And we can have all sorts of guests on there. You don't have to be like, addiction to have addictions to come on the show. So this show is purely about addictions, but it's more than that. Peace Over Chaos is one big show for everybody.
And how this is going to work: 10 episodes in the series. There's going to be a range of different topics that we're going to be discussing. Tonight we're going to be looking at the origins of the Sobriety Club and Peace Over Chaos. We're going to be talking a little bit about wrestling, football, meeting a new ambassador, and a little bit of questions with Roy and story time with Roy, which I'm sure everyone would want to hear.
Very exciting, can't wait.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick it off with the origins of Sobriety Club. So for people finding us for the first time on YouTube or any of the social media platforms, Roy, what is Sobriety Club?
What is it? It's basically somewhere where you can come, which is a bit different to AA or counselling, all that stuff, which is fantastic to help millions. We're trying to do a more relaxed environment where people can come and talk about life as well as their addictions. So anyone who's struggling, we do coffees where we just relax. They can message in or DM in, and we're there to help them. And it is real talk. I talk how I talk. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counsellor, so I am what I am. And I will try and help people. I'm not an expert, but there isn't a lot I haven't been through and suffered through drinking.
And you mentioned how much this has taken off. It's been quite overwhelming, really, the messages of not only support for the cause and yourself, but people in need of a little bit of support and help themselves. Roy, it's been quite amazing, really, hasn't it?
Well, I'll be honest, it has been overwhelming. To think we've gone 8 months. I mean, I've been sober 2 years, but we've gone 8 months, and it's been unbelievable. The people who have reached out. I mean, when I walk through the city where we live, and people have stopped me in the street saying, "Well done on you," and "Toasty." For doing what you're doing, and keep doing what you're doing, because they don't just affect people with addiction problems. That affect your family members. Everyone's got, not everybody, but most people got someone in their family who struggled with alcohol, and we don't realise sort of domino effect. So my drinking affected the people around me as much as it did me, because we're very selfish, addicts are, unfortunately. So a lot of people have been stopping me and saying how great the awareness is. And for everybody, not just for the addicts, because we're also saying we've got sympathy for the people who obviously with people with the addiction. So like I said, it's a very selfish thing, addiction, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And why do you think so many people have connected with not only the sobriety message, but the Peace Over Chaos message?
I think the thing with me and you, I think what you see is what you get with me and you. There ain't no bullshit. We are what we are. And we say it how it is.
Rare species.
Yeah. But the thing is, you either like us or you don't. But one thing you will get with us is honesty.
Yeah.
And I think when people come to us, we don't bullshit. We say to you, it comes from you to start with, but then we can give them we got so many different places for them to go and help them. And obviously I can speak from my experiences, but I'm not an expert. But I think when people come to us, I mean, 9 out of 10, they're getting help which is needed, and that's what this is all about.
And and we'll touch on this a little bit later in the episode about our wonderful ambassadors. But we've mentioned real stories and real people, and actually it's quite a moment to maybe you look into the camera and realise that celebrities get talked about a lot, and there's a lot of people in the limelight, and Roy, there really are just real human beings and real people at heart, everyone who we've dealt with, and it really resonates with everybody, this message, doesn't it?
Well, it does. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, you're famous, or you're on the streets. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, You know, it doesn't matter if you've got money, we've all got life problems, you know, and addiction can be even worse when you've got more money. Do you know what I mean? Because there's more pressure on you. If you're famous, there's more pressure on you. I know with my sister how much pressure she's been on. Every day she gets lovely messages, but every day she gets horrible messages. Do you know what I mean? And she's a credit, and she's like the leading force of Sobriety Club with me and you. You know, 8 years sober now, and she's got herself back in the WWE. She's a massive star again. She's looking the best she's ever looked. Mentally, she's the best she's ever been. And having her on board with us has been fantastic. And obviously, I'm not stupid. That's why we're getting the numbers we got, because they look at her as well, who's a superstar. She's 8 years sober, and she's probably the best she's ever been, and she's still only 33.
Yeah, and then I think for the people watching, when we've had a lot of questions about the why you're doing it, and you know, is it a charity? The answer is no. So we are a company that originally started as a clothing brand, didn't we? And we soon realised that this was a bigger community than a clothing brand that people could align with. As you can see, we're going into now the world of speaking and helping and raising awareness, but we can't really mention the other thing yet until we get near the time, but we've got something big brewing in the background.
Well, the truth is, I mean, if you're a counsellor, you charge £50 an hour. I go out my way every day to go and meet people for free. So I have to do stuff for myself, because I've got bills to pay, I've got kids to look after and things like that. So selling clothes, and someone else will go start selling soon, that allows me to go out there and still pay my bills. But I don't want to charge people who are struggling, you know, because at the end of the day, like I said, I ain't a counsellor or anything, but I like helping people. So I go out of my way for free. You DM people every single day for free, you know. So at the end of the day, we're not saying we're a charity, but what I'm saying is, though, we sell our clothes to help the Sobriety Club go and help us to help others. We never charge anybody who comes with us. We never would.
No,
do you know what I mean? I think that's the most important thing to get across.
And our dream one day is to open our own place. And
well, I've said for many years now, I want to open my own place in the city called Sobriety Club, where people can come, relaxed environment, music playing, you know, retro stuff on the walls. We come and talk about life, and just talk about football, boxing, whatever you want to talk about, but we can also sit down and talk about actually what actually helped your addictions, what helped this. We're a real nice, positive, good energy community for us all to go.
And we'll clear this up, because as we know, Roy, this is peace over chaos. This is a positive space. Yeah. And we know in life that you get haters and you get a minority. So we're going to clear things up really early on, aren't we, Roy? Which is this, all right? In life, if you can do well yourselves by helping others, I think that's winning. Yeah, and 100%. Some of you should try that as well with yourself.
Well, you're right. The bottom line is, in there, how can you have a go at anyone who's trying to change your life around? Because actions speak louder than words. So many people talk shit and say, I'm going to do this, do that. I don't do nothing. You know, and I'll get a lot of flack, which is fair enough. But at the end of the day, I'm 2 years sober. I've got out of my way with yourself to help other people. My action has shown me I've changed my life around. And it ain't easy, because every day can be, you know, tough. But I look at it every day as a blessing. So at the end of the day, what we're doing, I'm very proud of. And I don't care what anyone says. We're going out of our way to try and help other people. I mean, how can you hate someone like that?
Before we move on to your story, which is amazing, can we just clarify where Saraya is in this, and maybe Jacob, and like, just so people get an understanding of who's behind this and who's pushing.
Well, what the actual people who are behind it. So Saraya's basically, Saraya helped me get sober. So I said to Saraya, she's 8 years sober, I want to get sober. I need to get sober. She said, bro, it's been the hardest journey of your life, but I will support you. The first 3 months are the hardest. So for 3 months, she messaged me every single day. She's flying around the world, wrestling, and she's a superstar and doing this, that, the other. But she clocked in me every single day. I was getting up at 2 in the morning, walking along the beach. I was struggling, believe me, I was struggling, because, you know, it's hard to get rid of addictions. After 3 months, I said, do you know what, I think I could do this. Then 6 months, I started liking who I was and what I was. And after a year, now it's become a lifestyle which I will never, ever drink again. So Saraya was the leading force who got me sober. Then you got Jacob. Jacob's a guy who's behind the scenes, who's been doing it all for us, and you know, and he's been doing all the dog work, whatever you want to call it, donkey work. He's a top bloke. So without everyone, we're one big team here. Like one big team. We've got other people come on board, which we can't name at the minute until we're sign things and this, that, the other. But we've got more great people coming on board who want us to win. So we've got a fantastic network around us of positive people who are doing well themselves in lives, and that's what we need.
I think it's the same you see on social media, you know, online, especially maybe in your jobs, in your relationships, in your family. There's always a little bit of chaos around the piece, Roy, isn't there? And I think maybe at our old age that we're getting to, really what we have learned is it's all about your environment and who you surround yourself with, isn't it? You can choose that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you surround yourself with chaos, guess what? Your life is going to be chaos. If you surround yourself with good people who want you to win, guess what? 9 out of 10, you are going to win. If I'm going to a pub every single night with little records, you know, they ain't going to help my thing. So I don't really go to pubs. I nip out now and again. I don't hide away. Now and again, I nip out with my mates. They're drinking, I don't. But I could be in that environment every night because that ain't who I am no more. I like this sort of stuff, and we go out for coffees and we train and do all this stuff which suits my life now. And there's nothing against the old life. That's just, I don't want that life for myself no more. So you have to take yourself in that environment. And at first it becomes lonely, but now I'm not just saying this. I wish people could see how I feel. I feel the best I've ever felt ever, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, well, I'm now fitting in better tops that fit again, Roy. That's a good sign. Let's go back to what life was before sobriety for you, without going into too much detail.
That was chaos. That was literally living chaos. I mean, from the day I was born, that was chaos. My mum left me when I was born. The day I was born, she came back to my life when I was 2 or 3 years old, and you know, I was watching my mum have sex with different men every night. I mean, when I was like 3 years old, you know, and she'd leave the room and let men do stuff to me without going into too much detail. I think people know what happened to me. I got abused as a young child, you know, and she used to beat me and all sorts, you know. And then I moved in with Dad when I was 9. And to be fair, from 9 till I was about 19, life was good. I mean, I was with my dad and my stepmom, who's everyone thinks my mum, because she's done a great job with me. And then I didn't start drinking until I was 20. I was playing for Fulham, and I was tipped to go to WWE. I was tipped to do all these great things at 19. And then I split up with the mother of my kid, Ricky's mum. We were very young then. We were kids ourselves, having kids. And then I started drinking at about 19, 20. Then at 22, I was in prison for nightclub fights, because when I started drinking, that angry child came out who I got abused as a kid. I'm not making excuses, by the way, because at the end of the day I was wrong what I was doing, but I was going out taking drugs, drinking. I was getting all the limelight in the wrong way. I wasn't tough, I was just mental when I was drunk. Do you know what I mean?
For the people watching at home, how would you say, would you say alcohol does to that? You would say it as a hidden child within, so you've got all this trauma maybe that you don't know about is stored within you. What do you feel that alcohol does to that?
I feel like when I'm sober, I'm in full control, which I am 100%. But if you imagine putting petrol on a fire, if you've got a fire there, if you put a bit of water on it and just let it go out slowly, that's fine. But if you put petrol on it, that's going to explode. That's what alcohol did to me. When I drank alcohol, I'd explode. I'd got a chemical imbalance in my brain where I'd go absolutely nuts. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd lose all sorts of control. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I got home, where I ended up, what I said. I mean, who want to live their life like that for one? That's very dangerous to myself as well.
What? And this is I don't want to be a patronising question coming, but why did it take so long for that moment?
I don't know. Do you know what? I think because I messed up so bad. I mean, I lost my career, I lost my house, I lost my home, I lost my wife, and then I met someone else. Indirectly, I lost her as well through drink. Whatever way I look at it, was through drink. And I think that at the end of the day, I just got to the point in life where I looked at myself, said, "Hang on, maybe you are the problem, Roy." And I was the problem. You know, I was the one who going out drinking and this, that, the other. You know, and I literally just looked at myself one day and just said, I've had enough.
Do you mind sharing that point? Like, so because a lot of the messages that we've been having through Sobriety Club, I had a lovely person reach out this morning, and they'd messed up, Roy. They'd broke their sobriety.
Yeah.
And they were punishing themselves a little bit.
No, you should never punish yourself, because every time I relapsed, I learned from it. You know, and I relapsed about 1,000 times. I messed up 1,000 times, and then one day I was out on a good day. I always give up when I've done something wrong, but on this day I give up when I actually done something right. I went out for the day. I wasn't right, but I went out for the day. Didn't do nothing wrong. Got absolutely paralytic. For 11 hours on the piss, from midday to 11 at night. Then I walked in a pub called the Cherry Tree, which is a bit of a shithole in Norwich. No disrespect if anyone owns it. I walked in there. I was paralytic. I had everyone around me. A drink lined up at the bar. I went to the toilet, I looked in the mirror, and I see my mum who abused me as a young kid. And I see her in the mirror and thought, you're becoming her when you're drunk. You know, and I walked home. I was living with my dad at the time. I said to my dad, Dad, I'm never drinking again. He looked at me and went, all right, son, of course you're not. I woke up in the morning and I said, Dad, day one, I'm not going to say nothing now. I'm going to let my actions do the talking. And here I am, 2 years down the line, my life's the best it's ever been.
Yeah, and the recent tattoo that went on live, Roy, big day coming up, 10th of August.
Yeah, and I just want to say, well, there's Rich Swong today as well. He's 2 years sober today, but next month, 10th of August, and 10's my lucky number. I didn't plan it like that. I wore 10 all my life at football, and you know, that's always been my lucky number. If anything going to happen, it's always 10 this, 10 that. And you know, it was 3 months in, I thought, shit, I actually give up on the 10th of August, which is my actual lucky number. So I've had it tattooed on my neck now because I'm in this for life. Believe me, when people say, oh, how do you know you're not going to drink? This is one thing I can control. There's a lot of things in life you can't control, but I can control whether I drink or not. And no one will ever make me drink, so that's on me. And it's a fight, me versus alcohol, and I will win this fight because I've got a winning mentality as you have. So I know I will never ever drink again. I know that 100%.
And just to touch on the tattoo, a lot of people saw the photo of you and Saraya. She had the needle in her hand, and you were putting on a funny face.
I was shitting myself. That's why.
Was there? I mean, she must be a good tattooist to have got that right, or is that?
I think because of who she is, I think they've just done a little photo.
I mean, Saraya, I don't want to take that away from you. You might be naturally good at ink, but
do you think I let my sister near my neck with a needle?
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Roy, peace over chaos.
Yeah.
We sort of touched on what it is and the difference, but where did that come from?
Peace over chaos. Well, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted peace in myself. And funny enough, the most peaceful I got in my crazy years was in prison. I actually enjoyed it. And people go, you're mental. But I used to sit in the prison. I weren't drinking. I had my own cell,
3 meals a day.
3 meals a day. I was training every day. By the way, I'm not saying go to prison. I'm not glamour. I'm not glamorised. What I'm trying to say is I was taking myself out of chaos and I was going into prison. That was actually peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't take drugs. I don't drink. I didn't drink. I didn't drink in there. I didn't do nothing apart from train. So I thought this is peaceful, and then eventually I started thinking I want peace over chaos. That's what I want. And eventually that night when I obviously give up, I mean I've got a peace over chaos tattoo on my belly now as well. I'm living it now. Do you know what I mean? Because that means so much to me. And what it means to me is I want to help other people not do the shit I did and make the mistakes I did. If I can help one person in this, out of all them people who watch me and you and message me and you, if I can save one person's lives, then I've done my job, and that's exactly why I do this.
Yeah, and resonating to if you're watching, you don't have to be a recovering alcoholic, someone with addiction problems. You could just be a full-time worker who's got under immense pressure. You may have something with your relationship. You may just something in your life may have just not worked for you. So speaking to all of you directly, Roy, what would you say to the people about finding peace before they put the bottle down? Is it doable? Is it doable to find peace for your regular Joe to put a bottle down and find peace, or does the drink help some people? Or what do you think?
Well, I say if alcohol is messing your life, if you're drinking every now and again, in moderation, and that's not messing your life up, well, crack on. You've got no reason to stop. But if it's messing your life up, as in your marriage, you're feeling like crap, or whatever, you're going to lose your job, and if it's messing your life up, then you need to find peace by stopping. Because let's be honest, when you go on and grab a beer today because I've had a bad day, how's getting pissed making your day any better if you had a bad day? I'll tell you what, it makes it 1,000 times worse. I've been there. Do you know what I mean? Or you're splitting up with your partner and you're feeling really like shit. I mean, we've all been there. Broken heart, nothing worse than broken heart. You do a bottle of vodka, guess what? You end up playing up because your emotions are all over the place. So I've done two ways. I split up with a person before and literally got on the piss bad. And that took me a long time to get over that person because I was always on the piss. My last relationship, I've gone sober. And I'm not, that's made life so much easier for me to get over it and heal myself. And while healing myself, I got over it better. So what I will say is I've been in both parts where I split up with someone and got really drunk all the time. It took me a long time to get over it. But this time I've looked at myself and healed myself. And it's, I am where I am, in the best place I've ever been, mentally.
Our next episode, without giving it too much away, we're looking at is sobriety fun?
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you quite a controversial one here. Do you look back at when you were drunk and have fond memories at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had one or two, not every time I went out I went fucking nuts, do you know what I mean? So, but what I say is, a Russian roulette, for 3 or 4 times I'd go out and enjoy myself, and the 5th time, bang, smash, I'd smash the whole whatever, and I'd have the PlayStation.
Hulk.
So it ain't worth for me doing Russian roulette. I call it Russian roulette for me, because like I said, 2 or 3 times I'll be alright, but that 5th time I'm guaranteed 100% at that Russian roulette I will kick off at one stage because my brain can't handle alcohol. So it won't worth playing Russian roulette with my life anymore. So that's the way I would answer for myself anyway.
Yeah. Now moving on to wonderful ambassadors. So we've mentioned obviously Saraya.
Yeah.
We've got a wonderful guest in AJ Good coming up in episode 2.
Lovely.
You've mentioned Rich, which we want to reiterate. Rich, amazing, 2 years today.
Yeah, unbelievable. That's well done.
Incredible, and all night small. Incredible.
The things I've done to that song, I don't want to say though.
Yeah, probably for a later on down the line. And Carl Anderson.
Oh, what a legend! That's what I mean. I mean, you
what
think
a nice guy.
Lovely, one of the nicest guy ever from the Bullet Club as well. We were massive firm.
Yeah, and yesterday, Jake Christ.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the ambassadors to us are so important, and they're building our company. Also, they're helping other people, and that's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Jake, amazing story that went out yesterday, and we welcome you to the club.
Yeah, welcome to the club,
and
my friend.
More to follow, Roy. We've got lots of people reaching out and sharing some real stories.
Yeah.
Have you got a personal message for Swanee? So you're close to being your date.
Yeah.
He's now hit his today.
I just want to say I'm proud of him because at the end of the day I know how hard it is at times, you know, and in the wrestling world there's sex, drug and rock and roll, as they say, but you know, and the party lifestyle was a big part of wrestling for me. You know, a big part of wrestling. You know, I'd wrestle and go out and get party and doing all sorts, you know, and that still goes on, obviously, yes, you know. But what I say to Swanee, that takes a lot of discipline. It does a lot of discipline, and you know, a lot of you got to know your self-worth, and he does. You know what I mean? And I'm very, very proud of him because I'm on the same sort of length as him. I'm building myself too. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really, really proud of Swanee.
And my question to you, and so I'm sure Swanee can answer this at another day, but you can help with this. But like yourself, hardcore, getting hit with chairs, jumping off ladders and tables must take its toll on the body. I watched you jump off a balcony once, I think, is that right?
Yeah, in Liverpool, yeah.
Like, and I'm thinking that's
drawing pins, done drawing pins,
it's got to
done
hurt a bit.
yeah.
Swanee does double moonsaults.
Oh yeah, he does.
Triple corkscrew, flips off everything. It's got to hurt, right?
Of course it does.
So
I mean, body.
So you mentioned party lifestyle, but surely does alcohol in that profession take pain away?
I don't know if it takes the pain away. I know one thing. When I was wrestling the next day, I couldn't feel a lot because I was hungover. So when you're hungover, you don't feel a lot, but then later on in the week, you'd feel it more. So I don't know if it takes the pain away, but at that time, it took the pain away in my mind. I know that, and that I was masking a lot through that. I was getting my high through wrestling, and then afterwards, I was carrying the high on through drinking, but I was ruining my life through the drinking.
Yeah. Last question before we move on to the next point is why do because I think we've called ourselves a community now.
Yeah, community. Yeah, we're a community. Yeah.
Describe it. Why do you think communities matter so much?
Communities matter because at the end of that brings everyone together. And what I say is, like, it's one team, one dream, and everyone's in it together. We've all got our different journeys, but we're all on the same journey. You know, we're all trying to, you know, stay sober, be sober, whatever you want to call it, sobriety. But we're all got our different reasons and our different journeys. But we're all doing it for the same reason. We want to stay sober. So the community is good because I like listening to other people's stories as well because I want to know what they did and, you know, this, that, the other. And because, like I said, everyone's different the way they do things. Like I go to church now, like once a week and reflect on my week, and I go boxing, I go gym, and I go walks, and I like talking about it and things like that. Someone else might do something different what works for them. Do you know what I mean? There's all different avenues, and it's nice to tell the different stories.
Yeah, and on that, I must give. Well, we've got to give our gratitude to the people that have come out and publicly let us share their stories.
Oh, that's fantastic, and that's helping other people.
It's really brave. And,
well, I know myself. I mean, I'm on that point where I've wrestled in my life. So, but if you're someone who's not been in the limelight and you're coming out and speaking about your story, that takes a really brave person to do that, and they should be really proud of themselves.
Yeah, and we appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, we do appreciate everyone who shares because that might help one person, like we said earlier.
100%. Right, on to wrestling.
Yeah.
Saraya.
Yeah.
Back in the WWE.
Oh, some fantastic.
What was your reaction to that?
Well, just well deserved. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I didn't really know she was going back until about 2 days before WrestleMania. And just well deserved. The girl has worked her ass off to get where she is. You got to remember, she had 2 broken necks. She fought back against addictions. You know, you got to think 8 years ago she was finished. She broke her neck. She's an alcoholic. She had alcohol problems. And this, that, the other. And 8 years later, she's the best she's ever been. She's 8 years sober, looking the best she's ever been. She's still young, remember? People think she's like in her 40s because she's been around for so long. Not the way she looked, by the way, because she looks very young. But they think because she's been around forever. She's only 33 years old. Wow. She's been wrestling since she was 13. She's just a credit. She's the most humblest kid. Well, you know her. Most humblest kid I've ever met. She's just a lovely, lovely person. A lovely human being. Of course she's made mistakes. Who in? Everyone on this planet's made mistakes, some big, some small. But one thing about her, she's accountability of everything she's ever done. And for the last 8 years, she's an absolute role model to everybody.
Just a nice person.
She's just a lovely person. Do you know what I mean? You got to remember, she moved to America when she was a kid, an 18 years old kid. Her whole adult life has been in America on her own, without no family whatsoever. She is one of the most strongest independent women I've ever met in my entire life. I'm not saying that because that's my sister, but to move an 18-year-old kid to America on your own and face that big country over the pond there, which is massive,
overwhelming,
on her own, going to one of the biggest companies in the world, by the way. And their WrestleMania is as big as a Super Bowl at stages. That's how big their WrestleMania is. For her to go over there on her own and do all the things she's done, I'm super proud of her. She's one of the most strongest women I've ever met in my life. Do you know what I mean? And if anyone deserves a Wall of the King, that should be her. Whatever it calls it, MBE, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? For wrestling.
Charles.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you better listen, Charles. Do you know what I mean? She's a credit. She's the biggest name to, biggest female name to ever come to England, with the wrestling I'm on about. Do you know what I mean? And from our city, she's put Norwich on the map. I mean, Norwich, she's got, 10 million followers across the whatever. There's only about not even a million people in Norwich, do you know what I mean? So she's really put our city on the map. But she comes back, and when she comes back, she gives everyone time in the city. Everyone in the city's proud of her. She's honestly, I can't speak. I know it's my sister, and that's my baby sister, and we've always been close. She's like my best mate, even though she's 12 years younger than me. Even as a kid, I used to take her everywhere with me, this, that, the other. She's just a credit to herself.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it the other day. There's a lot of airports, a lot of aeroplanes, not much downtime. And then when you do get it, I suppose everyone wants to reply on your DMs or wants an interview or a story. So I imagine it can be quite lonely and maybe a little bit hectic at times at the same time.
Well, yeah, we got to think sometimes she's only home for 20 hours in a week because she's flying all over the place, and that is part of the job. We all know that, that is part of the job. But yeah, she put the graft in. Do you know what I mean? She deserves what she's getting. You make your own luck in life. That's what I say to people. You make your own luck. If you do good things happen. And she's 8 years sober. She's looking the best she ever did. She grafted her ass off to get where she is. And like I said, she's got everything she deserves.
Yeah, and where does that rank in wrestling comebacks to you personally?
Well, it's got to be up there as one of the greatest comebacks, do you know what I mean? Because obviously Daniel Bryan, I think, done the same, didn't he? But you got to think, when she was 25, which is still a kid, by the way, she'd had a broken neck. They said she's finished. She's not, she had a drink problem. Let's be honest, she's an alcoholic, really, really bad at 25. 8 years later, she's now back at WrestleMania, back being the champion. 8 years sober. I mean, is that a Rocky story or what? Should there be a movie number 2 come out about that?
Dwayne. Dream wrestler. So if you could pick any wrestler, for this show,
right?
So even if it wasn't coming back from sobriety, we're talking about peace over chaos,
right? Yeah.
Who would it be and why?
What wrestler would I like to come here?
If you could have anyone sitting here, who would you pick and why?
I reckon my favourite wrestler of all time is Shawn Michaels. That's my favourite. But to actually sit down with a superstar, Shawn Michaels is my favourite wrestler. I would love to sit down with Hulk Hogan. Yeah. That's how I would. I believe that man made wrestling with Vince. Back in when they got the territories and they started taking all over America. He was the main man. I'd love to sit with him for an hour or two and just pick his brain if he was around. God bless him. Because I think he was the main man. Do you know what I mean? He's the one who started this whole thing.
What about real life living right now? Who are you calling out to get on here?
Who am I calling out to get on here? I'll tell you what, there would be I'd like to get Kurt Angle. I like Kurt Angle.
We'll give you some milk and cookies.
Yeah. Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho is a very interesting fella because he's very talented. He's got a band called Fozzy as well, so he comes over here a lot. So if he's ever in Norwich, he's played in Norwich before, believe it or not, Epic Studios and at the Waterfront.
Wow.
If Chris Jericho was ever over, and I believe he's quite a humble person as well. I've met him only briefly. He probably won't remember me, but I met him briefly, and he's very pleasant and very polite. So if Chris Jericho was ever in Norwich, gives a shout on Sobriety Club, even not part of the sobriety. That's called Peace Over Calf.
You can have a little bit of the 0% bubbly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that would be the one. I think Chris Jericho, because I know he comes to Norwich.
Chris, there might be a little brand for you there, fella. Within a brand. Okay. Last one.
Yeah.
For you on wrestling. Could you survive the Royal Rumble today?
The Royal Rumble.
If it went where number 12,
the
Zebra Kid.
Well, the old me would survive any Rumble. But I think I'm getting on now. I'm 45.
So
now.
what number would you like if you're going to win the thing now? All right, all right, Triple H, listen up.
If I was in my 20s, put me in at 1, I'd have with anyone because I was chaotic, I was wild. At 45, put me in at 30. And the bird's got to tip one person over the top rope.
There you go.
That could be lovely.
There you go. Let's get that booked. Let's move on to football, right?
Yeah.
World Cup starting this week.
Yeah.
I mean, we're mad on it, aren't we?
Yeah, we're crazy on it. Yeah.
And the country is, to be fair. And going back to the USA, one of my memories growing up, other than the Italian 90 classic, was the USA 94.
Yeah.
The Baggio penalty.
Yeah, and I was going to say that. What a player he was, by the way.
Unbelievable.
And he missed that penalty. That's what he was remembered for. What a player he was, Baggio.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I remember that. I was only about 13 then.
Yeah, Romario.
Yeah, no one ever talk about him. He's so underrated.
Goal machine.
Unbelievable. How quick was he as well?
Yeah.
Small fella as well.
Yeah. So, why do football tournaments and a drinking culture? And again, I've had my fair share of time over in the States.
Yeah.
And I think there's a more chilled. Well, I say chilled, but there's like mosh pits where they set flares off and go nuts. But there seems to be a more controlled culture with alcohol in the USA and in England.
Yeah.
Maybe more previously. I can't speak for now. Seems to go hand in hand with a drinking culture.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think, well, I'm not knocking British people because I was one of them. I think Britain in general, I think we're just a big drinking culture. Wherever you go in the world, you know where the British are because you can hear them. And I was one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember being in Cyprus. I lived in Cyprus in 2006 for 3 months. And I lived there out of season. And then we were going into the season and the Cypriots said, when the British come, you will know. And I remember sitting outside 3 in the morning with my girlfriend at the time. I was only 25. And then the week of the when the holidays start, you know the British were there because they was getting bottles thrown and people were kicking off and they were like, I don't know. I love being British. I'm proud of who I am.
Is it in our DNA or is it a cultural thing?
I think it's just a cultural thing. Football, let's be honest, football is always, you're good at football, you have a few beers with the lads.
Yeah.
That's always been like that in Britain. I think I've been to other football matches in different countries. That is a bit different in different countries. But I think Britain itself is known for the lager drinking football fans. Do you know what I mean? I was one of them. Do you know what I mean? I used to go to football and I was getting the piss for all the lads. I remember going to Tottenham once, Norwich versus Tottenham. Me and my mate Bullock drunk about fucking 50 vodkas before the game, sat there for 2 minutes, didn't watch the game, went to the pub again. Do you know what I mean? What's the point in that at 50 quid a ticket?
What advice would you give to, say, I don't know, a young man, if you're going back to a young man, 20, 21 years of age, and he's now going into a world where he thinks it's cool to get wrecked and wear the badge or the flag and start fighting. Yeah. What advice would you give to the younger generation?
I would just say that I've been in that position and that like nothing good's come from that, and you're not enjoying life. You know, I'll go to a football match in my 20s now, sober, enjoy the atmosphere. I remember going and watch Cole Froch, by the way, and I just changed the subject, in George Grove in 2013, I think it was, or whatever. Around that, I remember going there. Cole Froch, my favourite fighter. I remember getting on the train. I fell off the fucking train the other end. I've 2 hours on the train, got absolutely smashed. I think I even took some pills. Do you know what I mean? I fell off the train, the other end, went into the ground, sat there for 10 minutes, said I don't want to watch this, and left, and went on a pub crawl in Wembley on my own. Because I've been nut. And that's the sort of thing that alcohol does to you, where now, I'd go to watch Cole Froch and George Grove, I'd sit there, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the show, enjoy the people who are there, and I'd love it. A bit of grub, and I'd be sober.
And actually, decisions based on alcohol can actually affect the rest of your life, can have a chain effect on the rest of your career and your life.
Well, yeah, 100%.
You know, because you think it's cool to kick off.
Yeah, well, look at me. I've been to prison 4 times for being a drunken bum. That's what I was. I was going to nightclubs and getting wrong with people. You know, I never started on something that didn't start on me, but the point is, if I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't be there, for one. And two, if I was in that situation, I was sober, I'd just walk off. But because you're full of piss and full of other stuff, you're like, you know what I mean? You know, you make wrong decisions. You do, yeah. Especially when you've got a lot of traumas like I had, and there's a lot of people with a lot of traumas, by the way, and you're drinking to mask them traumas, that bad side do come out. So my advice was, if you're a young boy and you have, you know, a young man, sorry, not boy, young man, you've got a lot of traumas, or you've been abused as a child like myself, talk about it. Yeah. Talk about it and go to somebody and say, look, this has happened to me and I need help. Do you know what I mean?
But also for, like, Roy, also for the people that maybe haven't started drinking yet, and they've been goaded. You see, about getting around the wrong people, you get goaded into this becoming a drinker and a fighter or being rowdy.
Yeah,
like that. There's a cooler way to go about your work nowadays, than
oh yeah, I mean, not being funny. Like I said to my kids, who's a role model? Me and my sister. My sister is in the WWE. She's 8 years sober, and she's a big role model to people, And I said to him, look what alcohol done to me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I literally had the world at my feet at 19. Am I good at WWE or am I going to play professional football? That was the choice. I was that talented. And I played pool as well. I could play pool for England. I was that talented at 19. And I had my first sip of alcohol at 19. Never touched alcohol until I was 19. 2 years later, or 3 years later, I was in prison. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't talk about my traumas from when I was a kid. I just mastered through training, training and exercise. Then eventually I started drinking, and it all just came out. And I'm not making excuses. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and then maybe then going on, like again, middle-aged category. And this could happen at any age, by the way. But you're out, you're being selfish, you're drinking because England are playing, the World Cup's on. And we've mentioned the chaos that it could bring to yourself, but what about the chaos it could bring others around you? Or, this month of the drink culture.
Well, the thing is, we've got to remember is though, if you're out drinking and you're partying and you're doing all this stuff, remember, football's actually a family sport now. You've got kids there, you've got families there, you've got that. And it's good for kids and family to see people swearing, shouting and being abusive towards people. Do you know what I mean? I've been drunk, I've been that person myself, so I'm not talking out of hand towards these people. But what you got to remember is, when you are drinking and you're being that, think of them kids and them families looking on, and they're paid good money to go and watch a football match, which is like, could be that kid's dream. You're seeing someone like being abusive because they're absolutely paralytic. Do you know what I mean? So there's a time and place as well.
Does it come back to that thing about knowing your limits?
Yeah, there's knowing your limits, and a lot of people don't know the limits, and I was one of them. That's called not having an off switch. If I have one, I'm having 100. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of lads I hang around with.
You don't want to go to Basildon again, do you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I went for one drinking in my local pub in Norwich, and up in Basildon for 2 days. That's just sort of lifestyle I was living. Do you know what I mean?
That's for another day. That one. Do you think that football fans can enjoy this tournament sober, or if you're not sober, having a limited amount of alcohol?
Well, of course you can. Like I said earlier, anything's about moderation if you can handle that. Someone like me has got an addiction problem, and like I said, I haven't got an off switch. I know I've had one, I'm having 100, so I would choose never drink again. But if you are a person who can have 3 or 4, which some people I know can have 3 or 4 and go home and enjoy alcohol, I'm not saying not to do that. I mean, I'm not against alcohol. I'm saying if someone's messing your life up through alcohol, then stop. If it don't mess your life up, you're good at football. I know loads of people are good at football, have 3 or 4 beers. They're fine, watch the game and go home. So if you can do that, enjoy yourself. But if you're having 10, 20, 30, 40 beers and a couple of cornies and you're kicking off, then maybe you need to look at yourself a little bit, because there's families around who you're scaring.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we move on to the rapid fire round with you, Roy.
Yeah.
England's chances in the World Cup?
Slim.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I think if we make the semis, I reckon we'll make the semis, maybe. I mean, I want England to win.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We've got the best striker in the world, by the way. So you never know. Harry Kane, if they can get the ball into Harry Kane, and he's the best player he's up there, the best player in the world at the minute. So we have got, for the first time in ages, we're going to a World Cup, probably the best player on form in the world.
Gareth Southgate, grass greener, or do you believe that it was always meant to be a German that was bringing it home?
Yeah, when you watched, it's hard. I mean, I've got nothing. I love Germany, by the way.
Oh, but I'm sorry, soccer.
Soccer for American fans. I mean, I love Germany, by the way. I wrestle. They're lovely, lovely people. One of the best places to go, by the way, to wrestle. Beautiful people. But when you're watching England playing and the German guy, I don't know, I just sing the national anthem, there's something wrong there. Do you know what I mean?
We wish him all the best, then.
No, I wish him the best. I mean, if he wins a World Cup, he'd be an absolute hero, would he?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, rapid fire, a bit of fun, so people get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say, something or something.
Yeah, go on.
And you get to pick.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start.
Yeah.
Arsenal or England?
Arsenal.
Why?
Because I support them, and I love them.
Okay. Wrestling or football?
Football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think scoring goals, I was a goal scorer. When I put that ball in the net, especially in a big game, last minute game, and you're running towards your teammates, and afterwards you're a hero, So selfishly, you know what's goal scorers like? They're very selfish. Best feeling ever.
Gym or cheat meal?
I love the gym, so I'd say gym. Yeah.
That was a solid one.
Yeah.
This one's going to struggle.
All right.
Coffee or chocolate?
Jesus. I would pick chocolate, but if I was on a diet,
No.
chocolate. Yeah, chocolate.
Morning workout or evening workout?
Morning.
Why?
Morning glory. No, I just literally, I feel so much more alive in the morning.
Sets you up for the day?
Yeah, I literally skipped up, train, and then I'm positive for the day.
Netflix or YouTube?
Sure. Probably Netflix.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Wrestling or boxing?
Cool. Wrestling.
Why is that?
I think with the boxing, I love boxing. That's probably football, wrestling, and boxing in that order. But I absolutely adore boxing. But wrestling, when you come out that curtain, the crowd is, you can't explain it until you wrestle. The crowd's unbelievable. Boxing is more, the crowd is more like, I don't know, nitty and gritty. With the wrestling crowd, they're so raw. The loudness of the crowd when you walk out and they're chanting your name is, you can't explain it until you do it. That's, no drug could ever compare to that.
Holiday abroad or staycation?
I'll stay here. I love Cornwall. Yeah, I'll go Cornwall, up Newquay, all around that area, St Ives. I love Cornwall. In the summer, if you go down Cornwall, that's like being abroad. It's absolutely beautiful.
Two more. Ant or Deck?
Cool. I like them both. And
Why Ant?
I don't know, because I just had to pick one.
Got a poster of him anyway.
Yeah.
And then lastly, peace or chaos?
Peace. Yeah. All day now, yeah. Cool.
Absolutely. All right. I'm now going to say a name.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Swanee.
Top geezer.
Dad.
My dad, hero.
Saraya.
Legend.
Arsenal.
Brilliant.
I thought he was going to say bottle.
Yeah.
England.
Love him.
Sobriety.
My life.
Family.
Everything.
Recovery.
Everything.
Mistakes.
Loads.
Accountability.
Always.
Tottenham.
Shit.
Wrestling.
Love it.
Two more. Roy.
Honest.
And lastly, peace over chaos.
One hell of a journey.
What's next for Sobriety Club, Roy?
Next is to keep building. We've got a lot going on behind the scenes, which we obviously can't talk about until on the dotted line. But this is one thing that me and you are both passionate about, and we're both passionate men. And I think in the next year, this could be very, very big. And we've got a lot of good people behind us. We're very lucky that we've got good people who want us to win. You know, you always will get your knockers, that's fine. You know, like I said before, I've drunk, I've probably upset a few people over the years, but I am what I am. I'm trying my best to be a better person every single day, like we all are in this recovery. And I think sobriety is going to be something special.
If you can give a little bit of a teaser for episode 2, we've mentioned the word fun. What have we got to look forward to in the next episode?
No, well, next episode I think will be full of fun. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
More stories.
More stories.
More real people.
More
Our first guest.
And our first guest. Can't wait.
Yeah, and if someone, lastly, if someone was watching this and struggling today,
yeah,
what would you say to them?
Talk. Go to the right people and talk to the right people. And then you're halfway there. Don't bottle it up. You're not alone. We're all in it together. DM us or talk to someone close.
Real stories, real people, real recovery, peace over chaos. Follow us on all the social media platforms, and we're always here. Doors always open. Love you.
Peace.